Well, easy for me to say. Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday morning. I hope you have your coffee and you're doing well this morning, waking up. Um, I've been up for quite some time, but I can't claim to being awake yet. It is Grumpy Stack. I can't even say that this morning, whatever you're saying. Yep, but that's me. How you doing this morning, Grumpy? There's a Rainy around here somewhere, but I haven't seen her yet since I got out of bed. So she may or may not make it in here. It all depends on how she feels. Sometimes she goes through. My wife has those moods where it's like it's not a mood like hey, this afternoon or this morning or this hour I don't feel this way. It's like she goes through these shifts of weeks at a time where sometimes she's really on her game and really wants to be here and involved and do stuff, and then she's just kind of like aloof. I think it's Christmas is killing her right now. So she's not a big fan of Christmas, and I think Christmas. How about you guys? But I think I look at my wife. I think Christmas has traditionally, from her past, always had, even though she doesn't talk for as long as I've known Rainey, doesn't say a lot about it, but I think that there are things in her past that made soured Christmas for her so often when she was younger that she grew up just saying Christmas, I can take it or leave it. Now, the one of the up things is that what is today? Today's the 18th. So in 4 days, on the 22nd, my twin daughters arrive with their respective men. I know Zach's coming. That's Bryn's husband. And I'm not sure if Dakota's making it or not, but it'll be good to see him. I haven't seen him in a couple of years. So good morning, Uncle Dave Potter. Good morning, Susie Q. I haven't said good morning to anybody yet. Susie Q, it's great to see you. And Roger Rabbit, I hope you're doing well. I know I saw some things from the wonderful Carly that to keep her in prayer. I didn't say too much. I hope she's doing well. Remeldian, it's good to see you. Listen to my voice. My voice isn't even on yet. So I've been up for a long time, but I haven't spoken until the words. I didn't even warm up, like you walk around the me, moo, 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 and so on. I haven't even done that today. Of course, I haven't done that in years, but that's how. Diana Atkinson, good to see you. I just saw your Tumblr in a picture last night and thought of you. How about that? So how coincidental is that? So anyway, not warmed up. I hope Carly's doing well is where I kind of left off. Remeldian, good to see you, brother. And Field Guy, as always, thank you for the ghostly sight to battlefield pictures that you sent me. Those are pretty cool. And Grumpy Stack, of course, is here. And Grumpy, I'm sorry I didn't get your text message until yesterday sometime. And I did pass that on to Rainey. She just laughed and said hi. So let's see. I think that might be it for faces in the room today, this morning. How's your weather? Everybody's complaining about cold weather. Michelle Canham Free is here. I see. So good to see you. And Cordia is here. Spirit Heart Gods and Goddesses. Good to see you, Cordia. Cordian to the chat room. Cordia is here. Cordia. And so good to see you. And how's everybody's weather? I know that we've had all we've had is snow for the whole week. And it hasn't been, there's only been like one day and a half of like really heavy snow. And then it's been just this little stuff that just keeps coming. You walk outside and you go, it's not snowing. And then you get in the car and you realize, hey, it's snowing again. And really light stuff, but it's accumulated. And we had to have the driveway plowed out this week, which was nice. We have 4-foot stacks of snow on either side of the driveway. And of course, when it snows, the snowplow comes down. You just wait to shovel or clear your drive until after the snowplows come, because they come down the street and they plow all that stuff right into your driveway. If you're not used to having snow, yes. Oh, that goes into the fridge. That big thing in the fridge. I forgot to put them away when I was making my coffee. Good morning. Come and say hi to everybody. So hi. There's Ellie. Hi, my beautiful. I kiss you as much as I kiss your mom, but in a different way. So
you're gross.
I'm gross. Field guy's seen snow 5 times in his lifetime, he says. So, we got Uncle Dave. Uncle Dave is here.
Morning.
That's what I say to my kids every morning when I'm waking them up. Good morning. Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Oh, what a beautiful day.
I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way.
How are you today?
I'm fine. I have no upper register. How are you?
I am the same way.
I hear that. It's like Yeats was once asked, William Butler Yeats was once asked, how are you today, sir? And he says, I'm not well at all. I can only speak in prose.
So I went to 2 holiday functions yesterday.
Oh, how was that?
I was at a Masonic one, and somebody came up and said, hi, this is my girlfriend, and so on and so on. I said hi to him, gave him a Masonic shake, and I said, hi, I'm Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave. Nice. And it's catchy, isn't it?
Yep, everybody just calls me that. Just
George Abril, good to see you, brother. Just entered the chat room.
I was talking about the podcasts and stuff, and a bunch of people said, who are you on? And I said, well, Scotty Roberts. And what's he do? Paranormal and ancient history and blah, blah, blah. And they were, what? And everybody pulled out their phones, and everybody was like copying down the address. And there's a podcast site. You and I got to talk. There's this one guy was like way into podcasts, and there's ways that we can expand your audience. So
outstanding.
I said, I will sit down with the man and we'll do it. I won't take time on air, but we'll reach out and try and expose more people, if you will.
Expose more people. Yeah, you can take time on air. That's fine. We got nothing to talk about. I get up on Sunday mornings and I'm like, what am I going to talk about? I don't know. It is the Sunday morning, folks. For those of you who might be new here, is not like the normal show. We just the Sunday morning is just kind of, if sometimes I'll come in here with a topic and I'll go, I got a topic and I'm going to be on fire today. Other times it's just like, let's get our coffee and try to roll our brains out for the day.
Yeah.
What's on everybody's mind?
Then I went to the lock-in function, the annual Christmas holiday party at their place, and Kat was there. So I said, okay.
Who?
Kat.
Oh, Kat. Yeah.
So I said, I don't want you to freak out. I'm going to show you a portrait I'm working on. It's not done, so I didn't bring it. Nice. And I said, I'm not happy with it yet. So it's not ready for public consumption. And so she just finished. So she's an art major and just finished, graduated and everything. And so, in fact, she just got back from Italy. She was over there, looking at Botticelli's and things, because.
And by the way, for context, folks, Dave and I are just talking this personal story with us. But if you remember the one episode we did where we had all of my fest friends on after one of our fest friends had passed away, it's the daughter of one of them. And she was a little tiny tyke when we were all at our height doing this stuff. And now she's, of course, in college.
And I've taken a photograph that was taken around a campfire back then when she was about 12. And I was doing it in the style of Vermeer. And I said, and I'm working in Vermeer, and I'm not happy. I'm not liking his style. And she rolls her eyes and she goes, "Oh my God, I hate Vermeer." So I showed her the
Art
picture.
history majors.
I showed her the
Oh, I
picture,
hate Vermeer.
and then she pulls up the girl in the pearl earring, because that's what she did for her final piece.
Mm-hmm.
Is a copy of the girl in the pearl earring. She goes, "It's not done. I got it to a point where the professor was comfortable with what I was doing and that I understood what Vermeer was doing." She goes, "I hate it. I don't like the look of it." And I said, "Oh, I'm the same way." And so we started going through other portraits that I'm working on. We both agreed my Rembrandt stuff is probably some of the best stuff I'm working on. And the piece I'm doing for Raini or of Raini will probably be done in that style.
Yes.
Cool. And one of the things we were talking about in the Rembrandt style is literally how it's just layer upon layer. You do all these weird underlayers that you think, "Oh my God, what the hell am I doing?" I just laid a green on their forehead. What the hell? But when you get the overlayers over it, it looks like natural flesh.
That's right. That's right. Hey, good morning, Andy Dabbs. Good to see you, folks. This is my friend Andy.
Good morning,
he
Andy.
stops in every now and then. He's the one, whenever I go up north to the cabin, that's Andy's house. When you see me broadcasting from
He's the one who just released a fabulous book. You should go out and buy it, people.
It's not out yet, but it will be probably within days.
Oh, okay.
So it's all
pre-order,
ready to go.
Pre-order. Buy your book.
We've got the website up. Andy, if you're there, is it all right if I share the website with people? Even though it's not fully functional, you want people to see it. Folks, if I put this website up, it's the book website. It's where you can go buy a copy of the book. However, it's not ready. I don't have the button ready for the right thing. And I don't have the button ready to. You can go in, but it doesn't have a price for the book in it yet. So
you got to put a pre-sale button out there.
So for those of you watching, if you want to go to this website, I can't remember if we didn't put the dash in the Antone Dabbs. I think it's just AntoneDabbs.com. Give that a try. Oh, and it didn't come up as a link because I didn't type the www. AntoneDabbs.com. This is the book you've heard so much about. Oh, it doesn't show that anyway. How about that? And it'll come up and it'll say 20 years from now. That's the title of the book. And we're just putting this together. The site's not done. We haven't released it to the public yet, but it is there. So you can go look at it. And it's got the book on there, and it's got a contact us site, and it's got an about us, which doesn't have any information in that yet either. We just did this over the last 2 days.
It will. Be patient, people.
It will. It's like Dave's painting. It's like it's layers. Layers, donkey. Donkey, it's like layers. It's an onion.
Aye.
So
did an Alice last night, and they were talking about layers, and that's what I said. It's like an onion.
Donkey.
It tastes like onion. Somebody said, no, it doesn't taste like onion. No, it's got layers.
It's got layers. And so it's good to see Andy this morning because I've talked so much about him, about what he does, about his business, about the book, and all of that. And so we've just got it wrapped up. I just found out, and don't you hate this? As we're putting the book together, as I was putting the book together to upload, it's self-published, and we're doing it through Kindle Press as a hardcover. And I started to upload it and found out, the hardcover doesn't come in the regular size. You got to only do it by this size. And you got to be kidding me. And so the whole dimensions of the book were off.
Oh my God.
I went in and I could change the dimensions of the book itself.
Did you have to repaginate everything?
I had the book at 5.5, 8.5. And I went in, it was a 6x9. And a 6x9 is pretty standard. It's, this is a 6x9 book, those standard books that you pick up. And I thought it was 5.5, 8.5 for their hardcovers. And so I went in and I had to change it all to this size.
What the hell are their hardcovers?
It did not retain the dimensions for all my pages. And so all of my columns, I laid this book out so there's some wider columns margins, because I want people to be able to read it, and if they have notes about their own stuff, they can jot them in the columns and so on.
Right.
And so they're a little narrower, but all the columns on the pages, when I'm looking at a 2-page spread and the spine in the middle, as if you opened up the book, all the columns were like shifted over here. And I have to go through almost 300 pages and manually shift all those back.
Oh my
Then all the
effing
headers
God.
for the pages, I've got a little graphic for the headers. They're all independent. So I got to grab those and shift them. Then all the page numbers are shifted back in. And so I have to do that manually on every one. And what it did with some of them, it changed and I don't know why. The columns are 3.5 inches wide by 6.75. The columns. That's accounting for room on the bottom and margins and the little graphic along the top, page header. And so some of them went to, they jumped to 4. And it's like, why did it do that? And it's after, and so I have to go in and I have to squeeze them back down to 3.5, and then it reflows your type. So I'm lucky. This is some of what it takes, folks, in putting a book together. I'm lucky that what I didn't flow the whole book together. All 300 pages. I did it by chapter. So I have to go to the end of each chapter and make sure. I found yesterday the end of a chapter where it cut off the last 2 lines of the chapter. So I have to go through and re-edit the whole book to make sure I haven't lost lines anywhere. I haven't anything like that. So it's not a problem. It's one of the technical things of putting a book
I don't
together.
understand when you're using an industry standard. Here's an industry standard. Why they can't just automatically adjust that if they're not going to carry that industry standard.
It works that way, except I tend to be, how would I say this? I've defined this in myself. I've seen it as both a problem and both a good thing, is that I don't do things by the way people normally do them. It's like when I paint, I use watercolor. I don't use watercolor like watercolor. I use it like a thin gouache or a thin acrylic, almost, that style. And the same thing with almost everything I
watercolor. That's what watercolor is.
I go into InDesign to design a book. I just design it. I make it work the way I want, but I don't do it within the framework of, you didn't use the technical right way to do this, so if you reflow the book, it's not going to work for you, sucker. So I see Ruben Fast Horse.
Speaking
Ruben, you
of
must
not
have
using
my smoke signal. I can say that to Ruben because he will say that himself. I'm going to
hear me.
This around.
Ruben, you're going to have a young Native American reach out to you, who's a Mason friend of mine. And I asked him last night, because he dances and he's doing stuff. I said, do you know Ruben Fast Horse? And he's like, I think that name sounds familiar, but I don't think I know him. And so I brought your Facebook page up, and he goes, I recognize his face, and he probably has older brothers, or maybe his parents know you.
Did he do the reenacting circuit or something? That
he's not doing the reenactment circuit. He is doing the powwow stuff, and grew up here. He's Lakota, I believe. So,
what's his name?
Of course, you'd ask me that. And I'm having a mental block this morning. As I started to say this, I went, I'm totally having a mental block on his name. But I gave him your Facebook page, and he was going, and he pulled his phone out, and he may have already friended you.
Thanks, Field Guy, by the way. I'll do that.
He's going by Wolf something right now. He's also a rock guy, like as in musician.
Sure.
And
thank you.
He recently changed his name to Wolf something. I can't think what it is off the top of my head. But anyway, I'll send his contact info to you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So there's that.
All
because
right.
I didn't know if because you don't get to meet very many Native American people. So I thought I would reach out and help you.
Oh yeah, no, that's great. Even out here in New York, it's most of the natives look like reenactors, more or less. No
Sure.
problem to me or anything like that. Just it's nice, it's good, and I've been doing my share of work here in museums and libraries, especially November, Native American Month, and stuff like that. So that's always fun. And people are just gobsmacked because they have no clue. Like, wow, you're a real Indian.
You're a real Indian. Can we
Yeah,
touch you?
how any more real can I be? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
but of course, in our part of the world, in Minnesota and Wisconsin, Minnesota, there's a lot of Native people, and I love this show in many ways simply because Scotty's my brother, and Dave is my chia, and they're both my chias, and I'm Misu. But it's the fact that you guys like to delve in things that we normally don't, whoever we are, don't talk about: the paranormal, the psychic, the tarot, the witchcraft,
Right.
stuff like that expand consciousness in my book.
Yeah.
And when you expand consciousness, you cannot unexpand it. It's there now. So here we are. So it's great. I'm not sure if Dave was on deck there, but at the time when Scotty was talking about going to Fort Snelling or Schnelling and hearing the voices that echo continuously. So it's just, it's great. And, I think as human beings, we're trying to reach out. That's what a vision quest is. For Native people, I did mine when I was 26. You could do it every year if you want, but you're nude on a hill with tobacco ties surrounding you, a buffalo robe, a pipe, water, a bowl of water, a bowl of dried meat for temptation, and you face the west. For Lakota people, anyway, Dakota people, everybody else looks east, but we look west because it's a color black. It's sacred, the void, if you will.
It's interesting. I just saw a depiction of that in the series Yellowstone, the Kevin Costner series about modern day ranchers, and his son, in one of the episodes, I think it flipped over to a second episode. The head of the casino, who you always thought was a bad guy, but he's there for his people, and he took him out with his guy, who's kind of his henchman, but his right hand man. They took him out, and they did that. They did the tobacco ties around, and they had the bulls. And I'm watching because I remember, I go, are they going to do this like Ruben told me they do it? And I'm watching the scene, and it was very accurate. And they left him out there with a buffalo blanket and nothing else. And he had his visions, of course, but it was very interesting.
It's amazing you say that because I'll tell you a short story here. When we started our Sundance back in the 80s, on the Standing Rock, where Sitting Bull, we call it Sitting Bull's camp, where he had his cabin now, which is now in the museum in New York. But there was the ground where they put the Sundance, and two native Lakota men from Pine Ridge, Oglala Lakota, to the Hunkpapa country. Oglala is like pepper on your steak, scattered among their own. Hunkpapas, those that camp at the end of the horn, the buffalo horn, and that's my people. Long story short, they brought back John Fire Lame Deer and Pete Catches came up and did the Sundance, and they brought back that way of thinking. And so, so many people that came from Italy, Germany, Spain, France, of course, Chicago, Denver, Seattle, whatnot. And then everybody was kind of upset. The Lakotas were upset. Like, why are all these foreigners and white people coming? And they went and approached the old men, and they said, why are they here? This is our ceremony. This is our what we do to pray. Rightfully so. And the old men thought about it, and they said, you, to the young men, native young men, Lakotas, you tell me what color God is, and then we'll let them go.
There. That's a wise answer.
Yeah, it makes sense. So
Yeah.
I bleed red, you bleed red, Dave bleeds red. You know, it's not
Well,
about.
and there's a positive side in that too, that as other cultures learn your culture and learn how you pray and understand where you're coming from, they're going to share that information within their culture.
Yes.
And
Indeed.
it expands your faith, but it also expands an understanding of your people. If sadly, if this had happened in the 1800s, we wouldn't have a Trail of Tears and all these other things.
Right.
So you're right, Dave. And the whole point of my story was to springboard off of what Scotty said about them doing the ceremony, the Vision Quest.
Mm-hmm.
I asked those same people, why come here? Who do you study when you come here? And most of them, the Germans at least, said, thanks, Rapid Dog. Both. Pray. Let us pray. But I said, who do you study? They said the Navajo or the Dene. We know them as the Navajo.
Mm-hmm.
And the Sioux, the Sioux. And I said, why? Because you still have your culture, you still have your language, you still have your thought. In order to speak Lakota, you need to think Lakota. Take your watch out, put your phone away, get out in Lakota, get in a sweat lodge. Do that. And we always have to have a means of suffering for our, Christ, Jesus Christ, the Nazarene did it for us by hanging himself. Well, he didn't hang himself. The Romans did. What a way to die.
Jewish thought.
Yep. And so he
You're not
suffered for all
suffering
of us.
enough. Let me help you with that.
But for Lakota people, native people, you have to suffer. You have to go without food and water. You have to go without sleep. You have to go without clothes. You have to suffer for your art, your spirituality, your prayer, your meaning. So it makes sense in many ways. And so that's what I think about. And that's what Hollywood, unfortunately and fortunately, capitalizes on the Native American experience. And what they showed in Yellowstone in that show is they had to learn. I'm sure the way they did it, like I said, I told you a long time ago, you remembered, retained that, Scotty? That is Lakota. So they had a...
I am wondering, I know Costner is one of the executive producers of that. I don't know if it was his idea to do this series. I have to imagine he was in on the conception of it. I remember when he did Dances with Wolves back 30 years ago now. The beautiful has risen. I have to change my screen around here a little bit. Boom. And I think there she is.
Only for a couple minutes and then I gotta get to work.
Only for a couple minutes. She's got to get to work on some stuff.
It's about time. I was worried sick. You're late.
I'm right. I'm tired. I'm tired today.
Good morning, beautiful.
Good morning.
And she is.
Uh-huh.
How you doing?
Real quickly,
before you make that point and hold on to your thought, Dave, I want to finish this point. I was just going to ask, how much research do you think they did? Because Costner, when he did Dances with Wolves, he said this was his love story to the American West. And so with Yellowstone, I know he's in as an executive producer on this. This was his idea, if I'm not mistaken. And so how meticulous is his research on this to have done that? Remember the scene we're talking about the scene with the
Yellowstone. Vision
the
Quest.
vision scene where they put the tobacco ties
Oh,
around
yeah.
him, and he was out in the wilderness for a couple of days.
Yep.
So
That was a good scene.
Robin.
Robin.
Well, boatman, boatman and Robin. Ruben said he was talking about Vision Quest, and so it just became. And sorry, Dave, to have interrupted. Go ahead with your thought.
Oh, I was just going to say, so Marco is the young man's name, and his last name is Winkelman. I don't know if you know them, but he's going by Jericho Wolf right now on his Facebook page. So
From
if
my
that
lips
name
to
pops
God's
up
ears.
to friend you, that's where that connection.
What's his native name?
He's going by Jericho Wolf now.
Jericho Wolf. So Winkleman. Hello, happy Hanukkah to you all. My name is Winkleman, but we're gonna change it to Jericho Wolf. So it's got
no
that,
G
like
in
the
there.
sound
There's
better.
no G in there.
There's no There's no G.
No, it's WINKL. So it's Winkleman, not Winkleman.
Winkleman. Well, that's what I thought. Winkleman. WINK.
You're saying wing, like bird's
No, I'm
wing.
saying wink.
And
like
this
wink
is win,
with your
like
eye.
I win.
I'm saying like wink with your eye. Winkleman. That's a very, very Jewish name. Winkleman.
Scotty's out of coffee. You can blame it on the coffee.
What?
Winkleman.
No, I heard Winkleman here, but
Winkleman.
What are you saying?
What?
That's not a Jewish word.
That's not a Jewish word. It's Winkleman. Winkleman. What's Winkleman? What is that? German? Is that Bohemian? Because it certainly isn't Jewish.
Shouldn't that be Winkleman?
Winkleman.
Yeah, I know a Winkleman. He owes me $20. He owes me
I
$20.
know. He owes me money.
He owes me. Oh my God.
You know, that's interesting. Just as a side anecdote, I had a psychic once, very good people. It was Marty and Michael Perry. You've seen them on like Ghost Adventures, the couple. She draws the pictures and so on. And they got, the first time they read me, they got my aunt just down to it. He described her. There's this woman. She's excited, jumping up and down, wants to see you. And she says, wait, I got somebody else. And she says, there's a older man. He's got a shock of white hair here, and he's very tan, leathery skin kind of. And he's standing there, he's going, I'm the money. I was the money. I go, oh, that's my grandfather, my Jewish grandfather. I was the money. So,
What are you saying?
what? So anyway, so
That's how when we're in film production. There's
Ruben.
there are specific days that when I'm producing that we schedule in for the producers, the executive producers, to come visit the set. So you're shooting specific scenes that you can afford to lose time on because you're gonna lose time that day. And also you're shooting scenes that aren't controversial where they might pull their money because of what they're seeing.
You know,
and it's like, and it's in the schedule. It's just the money visits, and everybody rolls their eyes. Oh my God, the money's going to be here today, because it sucks because they don't care about protocol. They will talk to anybody at any time, even during a take, or they'll say, why are you shooting it? Why are you doing it like this? Why is it? It's like, cut. Okay, can we?
Nice. Now, Costner, according to the news that I've read, and I've only seen headlines, is he actually dropping out of the series now, but still executive producing? It says he's stepping out of the series.
I haven't followed any of this show, so I don't know.
I haven't heard that. I've not heard. What I do like is how meticulous he is.
Yes.
Even down to Dances with Wolves. He took a book, which I have, and if you can acquire, it's called, the author is Thomas E. as in Edward Mails, like you mail your paycheck, your bill, mail with the S.
Yes.
And he wrote a book called The Mystic Warriors of the Plains. And so that's where Costner went, and it's a book that thick. Where Thomas Males was a Presbyterian preacher that came out to the Dakotas, and not just talking about the Lakota, the Sioux, but the Arikara, the Hidatsa, the Mandan, who are now extinct, unfortunately, as of 11 years ago, and all the people from the Crows in Montana to the Cheyenne, Arapaho, where Yellowstone is based on, the Arapaho Nation. And Arapaho, hey Wendy, you're silent. We can't hear you.
Look who's with us today.
Look who's
me.
here.
I'm here. I'm
Hello.
It's Mark, very English.
Robert, how are you, sir?
Pleasure to
Doing
meet you,
well.
Mark.
Good to see you.
And
I
you,
must
mate,
have been
and
the
you.
first time you and I have spoken. So
I have
Oh,
both
you
my
wa-
professional husbands with me today. I've
there
got
you
number
go. There you go.
professional husband here, and number two. And I thought we had to come on and say hello.
I'm
that's-
so glad you did. I'm here with Rainey and with
The-
Ruben and Uncle Dave.
Hello, Ruben.
I
Hello,
see
Rainey.
Matthew
Hi,
Sainsbury
Rainey.
is hanging in the wings.
Hello.
So
Hello from very
I'll bring
rainy,
you in a minute,
rainy
Matthew.
England.
All the furniture is here.
So we
All
got
the
the
furniture,
Indian,
yeah.
we got Gandalf, we got
Yeah. We've
We got
almost
the
got
kids
the
from
whole
Hogwarts.
fellowship here. Yes.
and
Well,
we got
Hogwarts.
Captain Kirk, Tiberius, Scotty.
Live long and
There I
prosper.
am.
We just thought we'd come in and just throw some sort of spanner in the works
Yeah.
just by going, "Hi, it's
Yes.
us."
We've had what we call in England. We've had a pub lunch.
We've had a
Very
pub
nice pub
lunch.
lunch.
Pub lunch. Are you in the Dark Huntress by any chance?
We sadly are not.
No, I'm afraid
Oh.
not this time.
It was
So
just
are-
dark
are
and
you-
I couldn't tell.
Are you rooting for Tottenham or are you rooting for the other guys? The
We
soccer.
don't watch football.
I don't watch football.
so
I actually hate football. So
we're the
no.
wrong people to
Must
ask.
be a bit of light.
We're wrong people to ask, actually,
Yeah.
because we don't follow it at all. But no, it was really lovely. We're like a Christmas dinner in a sort of oldie English pub with all the beams and everything. You'd have
Doesn't
loved
get
it,
better than
Scotty.
that.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Oh, I'm sure I would have.
Did you have the poppers and everything?
Did I have what, love?
The little poppers, the paper poppers?
No.
No, but we did have a rather nice pudding.
We did have nice pudding, didn't we?
It was rather nice, you know. So
Was
so
it
what are you
figgy?
guys? What are you guys talking about? Anything exciting?
A little bit of
Ruben
native.
pops in and changes the whole topic all the time. So
I
Ah,
don't mean
excellent.
to. I don't mean to. But we were talking about like
in a
with
good way.
Kevin Costner and Yellowstone, the movie. I mean the series.
Oh yeah.
And the ceremony that involved, and how America views Native Americans, either Navajo, Southwest, or Lakota, the Dakotas.
The
In that
plains.
way, and they follow Hollywood follows suit in the sense of wanting to find and capitalize on how it's done. Okay, let's make it real Indian, real Native by let's get some ceremony, let's get some eagle feathers and smudge and whatnot, and they have to follow our way of thought. Like if you're Hindu from India, you're going to follow a certain way that makes it more familiarized to people to understand it and say, oh, that's Indian, not Indian with two feathers, but Indian right here.
Dot, no
Oh
feather.
yeah.
Yeah. It's not the pull start, it's
Did
the
you
push
know?
button start.
Rainey with the DNA has some.
Oh, if
Native
anyone else in
American
this chat had
blood
said
in her. Am I
that.
not broadcasting? Can you hear me? Hello.
We're
Hello.
just ignoring you,
Is
Scotty.
this thing
We're just
on?
ignoring
we
you.
can hear you, Scotty.
All
Yeah.
right. Rainey's got some Native American in her. She did the DNA
Oh.
testing. We did all that. Now we don't know how much. I think it's more than
Fantastic.
Elizabeth Warren has, but so I don't know if over there in Great Britain, if you know who I'm speaking of with Elizabeth Warren.
Well, I can honestly say I haven't got any red Indian in me, sadly. because I'm sure it would be a very exotic
No.
mix.
Although I had a fantastic experience in Monument Valley with the Navajo Reservation about 5 years ago, around there. Still stuck with me to this day. Absolutely fascinating.
I'm
What a beautiful
sure.
people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you know, it's Dave. Is it no Wendy? What's your man's name?
Mark.
Mark.
Mark. So
With a Q.
Mark, when anybody that goes down to Monument Valley, and they like to be called Dene, as opposed to Navajo, and Navajo is their
Dene.
word. Yeah, Dene, but Navajo means sharp knife. Navajo.
Oh, okay.
Navajo, but Dene is what the people. But long story short, when you go to Monument Valley, there are two places in the world that smacked me gobsmacked. Was I expected a dinosaur to come around the mesa? It's so ancient. And the second time was when I was in Australia, in Adelaide, South Australia, which I lived for 12 years, and performed at Tandanya, which is the Australian Aboriginal Museum. And they had us, Native Americans, they had South African dance troupe, and the Aboriginal. The Aboriginals went last. Africans went first, and they danced, and then us Lakota danced, and there were no white people. It was all just indigenous. And then the last Aboriginals came on, and when I heard that didgeridoo and the clapsticks, and the way they danced, I was just again gobsmacked in the sense of I was hearing it in an ancient voice, and I think that comes and goes in our life where we hear if I went to Stonehenge or if I went to Scotland or someplace.
Not Stonehenge. Go to Avebury. That's the epicenter in England.
Did you say Avesbury or
Avebury? Avebury is the prehistoric capital of England.
Avebury.
Yeah, Stonehenge is impressive. Go to Avebury, because that's 60 miles south of Stonehenge in my home. What I call my home away from home. Oh, wow.
I've been there.
Really powerful energy center.
It
Mark,
certainly is.
I'm glad you said that, because when people think of the Lakotas, the Dakotas, and the Black Hills, they think of Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
we got to go to Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
No, go to Crazy Horse Mountain. Go someplace where there's no tourists,
Exactly.
And I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, Stonehenge is it's a beautiful sight to see, but there's no energy there because there's so many people there. It's all locked off. Avebury is what we call open access. You can walk around the stones. It's a much vaster landscape as well.
Yeah, nice meeting you, man.
That's what I liked about it. I've got a picture of me from 30 years ago, 32, 33 years ago. It was 1990 when I was in Avesbury last.
Oh, wonderful.
And I'm
that's
standing by
when I first went.
What they call the Devil's Seat.
Yes, on one of the entrance stones. That's right.
And so I'm standing there, black shirt and blue jeans and dark hair, lots of it.
Very Detroit of you.
Yes, very Detroit of me. And you almost want to scream out when you're there sometimes. Scott Roberts, American. So I'll tell you, I've mentioned this before, Mark. When I was there last, we stayed in bed and breakfast all along the way and had the old lady of Perth. We were at the house of an older woman in Perth, elderly woman, I should say. And we're talking, and she says, "You're all so nice." She says, "Are you Canadian then?"
Said, everyone knows Canadians are lovely people.
Yes.
That's right.
Scotty's hoping to come over here and do some work with you.
Oh, we'll show you some places.
Yeah.
That's my next trip. Once we raise ourselves out of poverty and I save up enough money, our next trip is going to be coming over there with Wendy to do some filming. And you, Mark, even though we haven't talked to you about this yet, you're on board. So
I'm there. I'm there. Absolutely.
He's the man. Like, if anyone knows, this is the man.
And
Mhm.
moi.
Definitely
We
up
have
for
to
that.
put moi.
Yeah.
So we'll get it worked out one of these days here, and let you know what's going on.
Cool.
Well, we just wanted to say a quick hello, just because we had dinner, but
Yeah.
we saw you on. We were like, hello.
You
And
can never
also
have a
the
quick
fact,
hello here. It turns
the
into a
fact that I
half-an-hour
had Mark
conversation.
with me as
So,
well, which is really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But love you, Uncle Dave.
Love you, Wendy.
Okay.
And,
Love you, Wendy.
You seem to be a very
See you,
interesting
Rainy.
person. Yeah.
You too,
You seem to be a very
husband
interesting
number
person,
two.
Wendy. Yeah.
Husband
rem-
number 2.
Husband
Husband number 1.
Oh, wait,
number
I'm
one.
sorry. You're husband number 1.
Yeah.
Professional husband. I may add a
I've been like
professional
that for 13, 14 years.
I told Wendy we're going to have to arm wrestle when I meet you so we can figure out who's number 1 and who's number 2. So,
Yeah.
Wendy,
Wait,
while
what was
they're
the
arm
line?
wrestling, we'll step out to Hampton Court.
I was just saying to
Patrick
Hampton Court, just down the
McGowan
road
from the original The Prisoner. He said, I'm the new number 1. So there you go.
I was saying to on
huge Prisoner fan. Huge Prisoner fan here.
Yes.
Love
Went to
Prisoner.
Port Marion only a couple of years ago for the location, the main location.
Oh, nice,
Well-
nice.
when we
I'm
were on
gonna have-
KB show the other day, Rainy, I was saying to them, isn't it weird that you can have a religion where a man can have as many wives, but a woman cannot have as many husbands? And I think we need to set up our own one up so that we
One-sided.
can have as many husbands as we want.
I would take on another wife if she was a good cleaner.
Exactly.
Or
Yeah, yeah.
husband, it doesn't matter. Whoever's gonna clean.
Well, it's like I say to Rainey.
Exactly.
She said, we need a nanny. And I said, I've already got my eyes on one, this long,
Yeah.
leggy, busty, you know.
Ah,
She's like, oh,
That
no.
does not come off good, Scott. I would not be saying that.
Yeah.
Rainey said,
Wendy?
I said, many.
Yeah,
Nanny.
Wendy, I just want to thank you for your show that you did one time with Scotty about Hampton Court and about that ghost that was coming through the doors of Hampton Court's castle. That was very, very enlightening episode. Thanks for that. Thanks for sharing that, you know?
Now you got me sweating like a hooker in church.
Yeah.
Hampton Court is literally on their doorstep, isn't it?
Hampton Court's just down the road
I
from
did a video
us.
from there 2
Yeah.
years ago.
I
Yeah.
have never
Yeah.
been, and I'd like to be there.
We-
I'd like to
There
go
are
there.
so many places around here that are so active. I said the word active and historic.
Yeah.
You would
Yeah.
be in your element.
been,
You really, really would.
The last I was in London was in 2005 with a couple of buddies, and we rented a car and we drove all around England, south of England. We probably went through your neighborhood somewhere,
You
Rain.
probably
did.
Wendy. And we just pub hopped and castle hopped for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And but we saw some sights in London. Didn't spend a lot of time in London, but went to the Tower. Went to Shakespeare's Globe.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Favorite of mine. And saw a couple of other places. I wanted to do the Ripper tour, but we didn't.
We were talking about that, weren't we?
Just talking
Yeah.
about
You're just
doing that.
talking
We
about
really
that?
want to do that. Yeah.
I know I need to get back to the Florida Keys.
The Florida Keys. I was
Yeah.
the last time I was in the Keys. I think of the Keys. I think of old movies like Key Largo with Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah.
and
I've
Bacall.
got a fascination with Key West. I was there 3 years ago. I want to go back to Key West.
I like
Key West,
Key West. I went down to Key West. I was a talking head on a little show that came out on the Curse of the Bermuda Triangle. And it was for the Science Channel. And this was 3 years ago now.
Yeah,
And
about.
they flew me down. You get to come down to Key West and be part of the show. And I'm like, oh, outstanding. And I'm thinking I'm packing my tanning oil and my snorkel and my mask and my,
You'll be here for about 6 hours.
that was about it. They
You
flew
white
me down to
people.
Key West.
You white people, that's our Stonehenge. Mark, that's Wendy, that's our Stonehenge, Key West. Go to
Oh,
someplace like Seattle.
I'm fascinated. I'm
Go to
fascinated by this
someplace like
place.
Don't do
the
that.
Southwest, someplace interesting. Just might as well go
Well,
to Mount
I-
Rushmore.
I don't think I
I've been
even
to-
saw a palm tree when I was there. They flew.
I've been
I
to
went
America
right
a
to
lot. I worked on a summer camp for 4 years in the late 90s in New Jersey. I love America. I've been to Phoenix, LA.
New Jersey.
all over.
I hope New Jersey isn't your only impression of America.
I was saying
No,
New
no,
Jersey's
no.
a nice
Oh
place to
God, I've
visit.
been all over.
Oh, I've been to England many times. I love the West End.
love the West End.
I used to work in the West End in the theatre there. Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah, I
Soho
enjoy-
guy.
Oh,
gave
brilliant! Right by
ourselves-
Soho. Yeah.
When we were there back in 2005, my two buddies of mine and I, we gave ourselves all what we felt were English names, and so we're driving around. We're down in Jane Austen territory, you know,
Oh,
down
Hampshire.
from
Yeah.
down in that region, and I said everybody was coming up with what I thought were lame names, and I said, I am Nigel Codsworthy of the Chipping Camden Codsworthies. And so I had to qualify it with Chipping Camden because we saw the sign for Chipping Camden. I said, oh, my hometown. So there you go. And look,
You should
the
watch my
Brits
movie.
The Brits are not impressed
Yeah,
with
they're not
that.
amused.
You should watch my movie, my comedy movie Ravenswood, where we have a lot of those kind of names in it. Comedy.
Oh,
It's comedy
I'll have
about
to look that
paganism,
up.
but yeah.
Is that
Ravenswood.
over on your YouTube channel?
It's on my YouTube channel, yeah. But Mark
go check it
English,
out.
Ravenswood, and it'll come up, yeah.
Mark
Or Return
English
to
with a
Ravenswood.
Q, folks.
With a Q,
Look up
yeah.
Mark English at.
And he has an amazing show on YouTube. You should go and watch it.
I've
Thank you.
called
I
it
love
up.
your
I've
show.
seen. Why am I? It's an old man moment. What the heck is the name of the show that you do with Wendy? Strangely Us. or-
Strangely Us.
Strangely Us.
Strangely Us.
Look at that.
And don't
Also,
forget,
check it out.
don't forget his amazing ghost book that he wrote as well.
Oh,
He's
see,
into the
I don't
paranormal. That's cool.
even know. Even though you've mentioned, I don't even know about his book.
Yeah, it's only
So-
paranormal Surrey. It's only about the folklore and the tales of the
Very
county
good.
that we live in, Surrey, which is south of
So
London.
you're in Surrey
Oh,
as well. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Surrey
my
to the-
neighbour as well as the husband.
Surrey
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
northeast of London. I can't remember where.
No,
You're
south.
north or
We're,
You
we're
keep,
south.
We're south.
you keep
south.
telling me, Wendy, and I
It's
keep,
south, darling. South of the wall.
it's one of those things that I just keep forgetting to where you're talking about. So
I know. Well, Tuesday I will. It's our Tuesday will be our Christmas one, won't it?
Off the
Yeah.
subject,
Good
just
grief.
kind of expanding on what Wendy
Mom,
said.
there's a spider. She just screamed. Sorry
What
about that.
Wendy was talking about earlier in
Someone's got a
regards
phone
to
call coming in.
why do men have so many wives
Yeah.
as opposed to women having so many
Yes.
husbands?
Let's
What's
make
the
it
whole-
equal.
You know, and it's a very sexist thing, of course.
Yeah, of course it is.
But it's, as James Brown said, it's a man's world, unfortunately.
Sorry, that's
Yeah.
my
I make
my
them stand out
computer
when that
doing
the Lakota women were allowed to choose the husband they want. Yeah, I hear so.
Native
Ken
Americans
is trying to call me.
have always been matrilineal, matriarchal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Women were in charge. Women had say. Women had the power, as opposed to the men. Men are expendable. They
Yeah.
they fight and they hunt, and that's about it. That's all they're good
Women
for,
are far superior.
more or
Sorry,
less.
folks. My
Darling.
my
Darling.
son upstairs in his bedroom is attempting to call me. That's what you're hearing in the background.
Oh,
He's
okay.
calling me on
Okay.
Messenger.
I hear the phone, but I'm loving the fact that Ellery's melting down because of the spider. It's,
Yeah, Ellery's
So,
over in the master bedroom over there, and she's screaming to high heaven because
So
she saw a
Scotty,
spider.
Before I
She's got
go,
lungs.
Tuesday is our before Christmas show, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
Tuesday.
And yep. And it's our, I shall put on the Mrs. Christmas outfit, so we're all very festive.
All right, I'm
That's the
ready
winter
for the
solstice.
Mrs. Christmas
Yeah.
outfit,
Lady in red.
Yeah.
and I'll
Lady
put
in
on
red.
my birthday suit.
Well,
No,
You wear your
no,
Christmas
no,
outfit. I'll wear my
no.
birthday suit.
no.
Have a holly jolly Christmas.
ho ho ho.
Nobody wants to see your jingle balls.
I didn't even get to hang the boughs of holly and things like that. And
And
Put
as
a lovely wreath on.
we've
Yes,
got a little video
why-
that's going to go. It's just literally a clip of it, which will say that Strangely Us will be returning in hopefully January.
January, yeah.
In January, yeah.
outstanding.
Excellent. Love that show
Outstanding.
too.
They are on
People-
season hiatus right now, and
Yeah.
so it'll be
Bereavement,
good
we've got a bit of a bereavement going on for myself, so it's a couple of weeks.
I heard, and my heart goes out to you on that.
Condolences.
So
You're in a good crowd here. They're
I
lovely
know,
people.
I love them all. I love them all.
Yeah.
And we're
Thanks.
thinking of doing a a radio. No, we're thinking of doing a calendar for next year.
What, naked calendar?
Well, basically to raise
Yes.
money. Yeah, and we actually did say we were going to bring you in on it as
Bring
well.
it on.
So,
Bring it
like,
on.
somehow.
Mark, we've just decided you're part of the family, and we're dragging you, kicking and screaming all the way in.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm going to do one. Probably, it's either going to be in my kilt, or it's going to be, or I planned it because I have more grandiose ideas of how I look than I actually do.
Yeah,
I was going to do one of those naked shots,
we have
wearing my
to.
Scottish bonnet, and perhaps a little Scottish a scarf over the shoulder, but naked with my
Bagpipes.
my historical
Warren,
claymore up
Warren.
there, down strategically placed.
And a strategically placed golf ball to hide everything else.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
A bit of Connery going on there. Oh, sorry, dear.
Sorry, a bit of Connery there.
Yeah,
You know how I
Yes.
like a bit of Connery.
you love a bit of Connery.
I do love a bit of
I
Connery.
do.
Yeah.
Well, Scotty, if you do that, I'll get my loinclout with my tomahawk.
Yes.
This is a lot
This
of
is
like, you know. Oh,
This is my
difference
Matonka
is-
hay.
Strategically
is,
put
Ruben-
someplace sacred. So
The difference is, Ruben, you actually look good in that.
Yes, you do.
we're
Because
actually
Dave
thinking of
comes
doing a
over
calendar
to
for
see me
June.
in my kilt all the time.
December.
Yeah.
And it's like it's basically for charity, and it's people that are on the show and do their own shows as well on YouTube and radio, and so I said to Scotty before we should rope Mark into this, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get him to do it because you have naked shot of you, darling. Oh, Scotty!
Who wants to see this 56-year-old body?
I would love a picture of Scotty on one side and Mark on the other one of me. That would be fun.
That would be cool.
Here, pull over
I'm up for
close.
that.
But anyway, listen, guys, we'll say goodbye because we got to go. But have a great day.
Love
And
you
you have a
too.
good day too. You've
Thanks,
already
brother.
eaten.
Happy
So,
We have-
Hello.
happy
Season
Christmas.
greetings.
tally ho
you.
and
Happy
all, yes.
holidays.
And happy holidays to you, and Merry Christmas and all of that stuff. And Mark and Wendy, I'll talk to you both soon. Wendy,
See you
still-
soon, Mark.
Cheers, Scotty.
Bye.
Yep, we'll see you.
Blessed
See
be
you
both
later.
of you.
we'll
Bye,
always have
love.
Tuesdays.
Okay, bye.
We
Yeah.
will. See you Tuesday.
See you
Cheers.
later.
Okay,
Bye,
Andy.
guys.
Okay, Mr.
Bye-bye.
Robinson.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
very interesting.
so now that the Brits are gone,
Yeah.
The bit of brass monkeys,
yes,
Yeah,
cold, as they say in Cockney.
Yeah, I
what's on
wanted
your
to-
mind today, Matthew Sainsbury?
Yeah, I wanted to
came in,
ask you
haven't
when
had a
Fast
chance
Horse
to
a little
say word.
question. Yeah, I wanted to ask him a little question when Fast Horse. There are these people that the Lakota people seem to have problems with called the Shoshone. I sometimes wonder why there was such rift or conflict between the two of them because Sandra Govia, she was a Shoshone woman who led Lewis and Clark out into the West. So that's something that I wanted to ask him if he knew what understood what.
You know, that's a good point, Matt. Just want to be real quick about it. I don't want to hog the show or anything, but for the
Yeah.
most part, people tend to think of America as a utopian society before the first European boot hit the shores.
Yeah.
But Vikings were here before. Yes, the Vikings were here to meet Native people as well as the Africans that
Not
Yeah.
everybody.
came.
Excuse me. Not everybody has a Sacagawea action figure.
There you go.
I do.
Lewis
And
and Clark and Sandra Govia.
Scotty,
Her
go play
real-
with your
Her
dogs.
real
Leave it alone.
name was
I'm a
not
big boy now.
Sacagawea. That's a bastardized name in English. Sacagawea.
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 Sacagawea is Shoshone, and that
Mhm.
means bird woman, but they also
Mhm.
call her boat launcher. And she is well received on the American gold dollar coin
Yes.
Yeah.
because, and I'm glad they put her a real native woman
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
to mark that the really before there were founding fathers.
Yeah.
Like my coffee monk says, the original
Sitting
founding,
Bull,
The original founding fathers. Yes.
Geronimo, many others. Yeah.
Sitting Bull,
Yeah, the one there.
Chief Joseph, and
Yeah.
Red Cloud. So
Red
anyway,
Cloud, yeah.
long story short, but you're right. It's people have that tendency to think that there, Christopher Columbus came and discovered America. Bullshit. It's
I know.
the Vikings and the people from Africa that came and melded.
Mhm.
If you look at some of the
But why
subtle-
did Columbus get the credit? Why was he given so much accolade for it? Was
Especially
it
since
because
he didn't find what he was looking
Money.
for. He was lost
Money.
and bumped into the wrong place.
he thought he was in China? So
or India, yeah, because of the
West Indies,
spices. The West, yeah, but it's also money. As we were saying earlier, like the motivation seems to be money. And Gandalf Dave was saying that we in the movie industry, the money. I'm the money. Hey, I'm
I was the money.
I'm the money, and they can bullshit their way through. Oh, why did you take that picture? Why did you take that shot? What, and they think they got the cojones to run the show.
Right.
Well,
So it's the same-
Columbus's trip was sponsored and paid for.
Yes,
Leif Erikson was on
Thank
his own
you.
dime.
Thank you.
That's right.
I love that movie, The 13th Warrior. Lo, do I see
Yeah.
before me the line of my people, hearkening
Yeah.
back. And I really believe that,
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, Antonio. So,
How about you, Rainey? I want to hear from Rainey today. How many people would like to hear from Rainey?
What's up?
What's up? What's up? She says. So I will.
Oh, you want coffee? I bet. Oh, you just about
No,
spilled
I
it
don't.
all over yourself.
Oh.
Are
I'm
you
gonna go
dribbling?
warm up my coffee and let Rainey.
Don't
take
dribble,
that.
Scott. Don't
you
dribble.
got a drinking problem, Scotty.
Yeah, a little bit.
I do. I miss my mouth. You have the con.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi, beautiful. Hi, Ellery.
I take over.
Oh, Ellie's taking over. Tell us the story. You tell everybody where you found your elf today.
In our window. So there's a song thing. And then it's a little square. My elf was sitting in that.
Here,
Um,
look up here and talk.
she had my sock as a pillow.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
And we have
Gel window clings.
gel window clings, and they're Christmas themed. There was a Santa face. She took that and wore that as a mask.
Ah, those elves are mischievous.
Right? They are.
Has Krampus been
Yeah, about my
visiting
audio went
Rowan?
down.
Krampus did not come on December 5th, so Rowan is now safe.
Did
Yeah.
you know, Ellery? Did you know that you have to practice Saint? If you should have done it the first week of December, Saint Nicholas's Day, where you
December
put out.
6th.
Yep. Thank you.
Mhm.
Where you put out
Yeah.
your shoes outside, and then it gets filled with goodies and candy and stuff like that. Before they did stockings. So yeah.
Right.
I've heard a theory that St. Nicholas may emerge out of a fest. I think it was a guy called Odin that used to fly across the sky on an 8-legged horse. Yeah, some people think so. It may come from a Scandinavian legend or so. But St. Nicholas was a real person, though, in
Indeed.
Asia Minor, Turkey. Yeah, because apparently his bones are buried in Bari, Italy today. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're right in saying that, to say this, that we don't practice the old Yule way of
time.
doing things, where the tree was decorated with goodies, food,
Mhm.
candles for the wood spirits, the sprites that would come and find. And every time you hear a bell on the Christmas tree, the Tannenbaum, as they say in It's a Wonderful Life, an angel gets his wings. Well, it's not. It's a spin-off of when the wood spirits were happy that you treated them. They would ring the bell, and so you had that part of nature with you, and it's very pagan.
Yeah, many of my heathen friends still follow the Yule.
Yeah,
I do believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. I do.
You sound like a Peter Pan. Yeah.
And it wasn't Santa Claus with his 8 reindeer. It was the reindeer represented the legs of the 8 represented something about slavery. But it was actually Thor's
Thor,
day,
yeah.
Thursday, but it was actually a goat that came.
Right, with 8 legs.
8, thank you. 8
Legs.
legs. And
I know about Odin. I know about Odin flying in the sky and the 8-legged
Yes,
horse.
Odin.
I know about that one.
Odin,
Yeah.
2 goats that
Odin, yeah,
came,
'cause-
and eventually it became that, but it was Dutch that made Cinder
yeah.
Claus.
Santa Claus.
Not Santa
Yeah.
Claus.
Go
But yeah.
fix that. You
Yeah.
just messed it up.
Because Krampus
So-
used to be a character that used to go around with Saint Nick and some older artwork on that day. It wasn't a very jolly scene. You mean he would carry a stick and lash people if they were naughty and carry them into sacks and things like that. You know, very creepy
You know,
stuff.
if you go on YouTube and look up Krampus, they have a festival in Austria and in that part of the Germanic regions where all these guys are dressed like demons. And they're
Krampus is
it's a
very
parade.
real.
Yeah. It's very real. And so I love that paganistic, and pagan is paganistic, which is
Yeah.
paganistic in Roman. In Rome, they said paganistic, which meant our version
Country
of
dweller.
a redneck, a country dweller, of the heath, a heathen, a country dweller.
Even yeah. Because even in First Maccabees, because your girlfriend is Jewish, remember you said that because Hanukkah is no starter now. And even in First Maccabees, the writers describe the Greeks as heathens. They use sometimes that terminology as the heathens, you know, like that or something like that. That terminology, you know, because
Well, and
the
they
king at that
describe
time was
themselves as heathens.
yeah. The king at that
There's
time
a
was
difference
Antiochus
between
Epiphanes.
heathens and pagans and Wiccans.
Brutal
And,
boy,
Druids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Druids, yeah.
I had to put on a sweater.
Your nipples
Yeah.
were showing. I know it's cold there.
That's where, yeah, it's cold.
Let's feel.
Ow!
Oh yeah, they are cold.
Yeah.
Here,
And
let's
that's
see.
how
How are
we-
yours?
Mine are warm. Go away.
Brady, that's the only reason men have nipples.
For women to pinch them.
It's a temperature gauge. That's all. I'm cold.
That's
My
it.
nipples are hard.
Well, she can be a temperature gauge too. It's just
she can be a temperature gauge for the other room.
that's right. They have this total freedom to pinch men's nipples, but men, if we reach over and we do this, it's like don't do that without being invited.
Well, after it's been a feeding sack for the last however many years.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
true.
I say,
Nobody touches. They're mine.
they turn from fun toys to utilitarian nutrition stations, and then after that, it's like don't touch those anymore.
You know,
Come on.
that's a good point, Rainey and Scotty, because you know when women are pregnant, people tend to rub their belly. Oh, that's so great!
Oh,
Wow, what do you do? How's it going? Yada yada yada. Nobody ever goes to a man's balls and rubs them. And says, good job, good job.
yeah, they
You
do.
did a good job.
Yeah, they
Okay.
do. Oh, no, he said caress, not
I
hit.
did caress them.
Not, yeah, she
With
caressed
force.
them all right,
With
quickly
force.
with force. So
I caressed them with the top of my thigh.
that's right.
You got to
Well,
butter
I
his
mean-
balls every now and then. That's about it, right there.
Right? You say that. When I went to the store last night, they sell balls of butter. And I almost got it because it said buttered balls on it.
And the kids giggle at all that stuff.
I see
Now-
that.
now-
I read a book recently. The Iroquois, you know the phrase to bury a hatchet. That phrase called bury a hatchet. Like it
I
says to
think
go back to
Matthew's
how the
trying to
Iroquois
keep us
would.
on topic.
Yeah.
I was just thinking the same thing. He gets an award for just, I'm going to be focused and stay on top.
I'm
I'm
focused.
gonna
I'm
ignore all
tell
your
you every
cheekiness.
little bit of information associated with this topic.
Rainey,
You don't want to
when
talk about butterballs, Matthew?
Rainey, when you get a
Balls?
chance, all of you, when you get a chance, go on to YouTube, SNL, Saturday Night Live, Pete Schweddy.
Oh,
Alec
yeah.
Baldwin,
My
the
sweaty
Schweddy
balls.
Yeah,
Balls.
Nice.
it's
Classic.
hilarious.
Classic.
Nice.
NPR's do an interview with Pete Schweddy. Well, we got cotton balls,
we're
we
doing a
got
broadcast
popcorn
here.
balls.
That means
Right.
don't run around in here and play.
Nobody
See
resists my
those balls
sweaty balls.
now.
They're so misshapen. They're a little misshapen. I can tell.
Flynn's at that fun
Okay.
age where you can put that stuff on and he catches it. And I was turning the station. I was turning the station the other day, and the "I've Got Big Balls" song came on, or whatever it was.
AC/DC.
Yeah, and I turned it up, and I'm like, "Hey, Flynn, actually listen to the words in the song." He was just giggling in the front seat. It was so much fun.
That reminds me of the Big Bottom Girls. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go back now because Matthew asked a serious question.
There you go.
You might have to
There you go.
re-ask your question, Matthew.
Okay, yeah,
You were
yes,
just making fun of your
bring us
serious
back.
question.
yeah, I got cut off there when I was talking about the Shoshone Indians when you were explaining it to me there earlier with the volume. Yeah, you were telling me that not all people always get along, and so yeah, in certain tribes.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a utopian society as people tend to think. The Indians were fighting Indians. If they weren't taking their caches, they were taking their women. Why? Because they didn't want incestual things happening. You got one group of people that are constantly breeding. You can't marry your cousin. We're not in Kentucky.
And
We're not in
still
Tennessee.
Cumberland before.
Yeah.
So they raided their women, and that's where she came from. Sacagawea or Tsagaawida. She was taken as a child and then raised among the Hidatsa people. And she, you think about it, the true adventurers of this country was led by a native woman with a baby on her back. And how peaceful is that, walking into an enemy's territory without
What
any
would have
armor?
happened to Lewis and Clark had they not had her?
Tsagaawida was, her husband was French, a voyageur, and they were guided by a black man.
Yeah, I hear so. Yeah,
York. So you got a black man, a French man, a native woman, and then two Brits, Lewis and Clark.
Stop me if I'm wrong here, but I think I heard that they had a council where they all voted equally on something.
And
I
the
heard
bartender threw his rag on the bar and said, "What do you think this is? A joke?" So,
Yeah, it's amazing what actually happened and how far they got.
Yeah.
And the true warrior of all this is Sacagawea, because she found food when the men couldn't find game, buffalo or a bison or elk or whatever. They couldn't find meat. She found it through the herbs, medicinally, as well as being able to consume and eat and survive. So it's amazing, in that way how all those people made it through.
Because the pilgrims there helps learn to survive through Squanto. He was actually a Patuxet Indian that was taken captive to Europe. And by the time he came back, a lot of his Patuxet tribe were wiped out. And he was able to teach the pilgrims how to survive too, you see?
Yep.
That's the thing about it.
When many people came to this country seeking release from religious persecution, they persecuted us in turn. Whether you're Arawak or Carib or Mohawk or Mi'kmaq from Canada, Nova Scotia, it doesn't matter. But the crazy part about all that, you were just saying, what were you saying again, Matt?
No, I was saying that what his name is now, no? Squanto was able to teach
And Pocahontas was also captured and taken, and many of them came back to their homeland in America to find out that their villages were ghost towns, ghost villages. Why? Because
she died in England, did she not?
Measles, diseases that came from Europe.
Yeah, all these things that the Europeans brought.
Yep.
And sometimes even to there was an event that happened in Salem, Massachusetts, my lord, called the Salem Witch Trials, and there was a lady that was bought from Barbados called Tituba. There's believed that she might have been an Arawak and sold to Samuel Parris.
She was associated with the Salem witch trials.
Yeah, that thing got really out of hand. But the thing is that 19 women were hung and everything in that whole colony. And the thing is that I think a man was crushed to death named Giles Corey. They actually put boulders on top of him, and he actually put a curse on Salem. They say it's still there to this day. And the thing is that Tituba was able to be released from jail after the whole trials were disbanded. She was later on sold to someone else. But it's a very graphic story that occurred there because the Wabanaki Indians, apparently the Wabanaki tried to trade it with them, but apparently the Pilgrims or those Puritans in Salem actually betrayed some of the Wabanaki and sold them into slavery. I read that, I saw that in a documentary, and that's one of the things that they had tensions with the Wabanaki tribe. See, yes.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to ask you,
There's
Ruben,
truth
what
in
you
that, Elderberry,
think of
because I know that the
Elderberry's
Iroquois
statement
were
here.
sent against the Pequot. They stirred,
Yeah.
the Brits stirred that rivalry up to eliminate
Yep.
the Pequot.
I was going to ask Ruben what you thought of that. What your comment would be.
That divide and conquer, boy.
So that the whites looking to gain supremacy, they used the Indian tribes' hostilities against each other. And
French and
the
Indian
treaties,
War.
misplaced tribes. Yep.
And yet, when Sinclair came over with his entourage, again pre-Columbus, in the 1300s, he met the Iroquois with open hands, and they sat and had counsel together and learned from each other and worked together.
Indeed.
Right.
Indeed.
If you want to read a good book, pick up Stephen Ambrose, the author. He wrote Band of Brothers, amongst many other books that he wrote. But Undaunted Courage was his book on the Lewis and Clark expedition. And that was the book I read where I really first heard any detail about Sacagaway, and I can't even pronounce her the way you pronounce it.
Yeah.
But this is for the sake of Kenny Ballos that I want to show this. I know some of you have seen these before, but Kenny Ballos on his show the other morning, Coffee with KB. Get the Kettle by the roadside. You don't have to be afeard. You can come and speak your mind over at Kenny Ballos' show every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern.
And it was so good seeing you the other morning, Ruben.
But I've got this set of action figures we were talking about on Kenny's show the other day.
As Kenny would say, Scotty going to tell you about playing with his dolls now.
He's going to tell you about his dolls. So I ain't afraid to talk about that, Kenny. I can talk about my dollies. And this is that I got
By the way, those are like the worst black Ebonics I've ever heard.
No, that's not black. That's Virginian. That's white Virginian. White Virginian. I'm afeard you got that wrong. That's white Virginian.
All right, Dixie boy.
Yeah. So, a friend of mine, many years ago, did this set. He was doing reenacting the living history, and he was doing a Lewis and Clark expedition. You remember him, I'm sure, Ruben and Dave, at the rendezvous. He would set up Lewis and Clark. It was John Driscoll, and he had done back then 25 years ago. I don't think there's a date on these. There might be. But he did 2004. He did these. He did the Corps of Discovery, which was the Lewis and Clark expedition. And this is for you, Kenny Ballos, because like I just showed off Sacagaway, these action figures, he did action figures of Lewis and Clark. This is Meriwether Lewis, and it came with all these. I'm sorry about the lights. I got to hold it at the right angle. All the accoutrements, the satchels, the swords, all this. It's got a satchel. If you took this out of here, his journal, and opened it up, he's got all the miniatures of all his papers, and his compass, and his telescope, and his sword.
Does he have his Masonic apron?
I don't know if he does or not.
Where's his cod piece? Where's his cod piece?
Under his pants. And there's his haversack over here.
Post cod piece time.
And so with the lights, but that's
one doesn't wear a cod piece in the 1700s.
And then this one is Clark, and it's fairly similar, but there's Clark, and he's got them in their dress uniforms, and just look at all the stuff that he had made to go with this. It's very hard to see with the light reflecting, but
what's that article there with the
square, the compass?
Oh, it's a compass.
It's for surveying.
It's a surveyor scope, so you can adjust it on the horizon to.
Washington was the last surveyor too.
That's
Yeah,
what that
yeah.
is. And
That's
his
cool.
muskets and his powder horn and his swords and his journal. And he's got his journal here, and there's his haversack, and his compass is right here. And so we got those. And then, of course, we had the one I already showed you, which was Sacagawea or Sacagawea or Samoangangawenga, as Ruben says it. I don't know. And she doesn't have much. She had a baby.
Yeah,
enough,
that's son, yeah.
a paddle or an oar, a knife, her little pouches, and
yet she had so much
she
more
had a
value.
mirror as well.
Yeah.
There's a mirror. So there she is.
She helped guide them
And,
right across the our American continent.
That's the art he had done for her.
Nice.
So,
Very nice.
so those are my Kenny. Those are my dollies. I ain't afraid to show them. Oh, you know what else came with that kit? Was this. Let's see if I might even be able to get it going for you. Let's see here. I've got this.
I see Buzz Lightyear in the background.
Yep.
Toy
Yeah, there's
Story,
Buzz
yeah.
Lightyear's back there next to my Knights of the
Story,
Round
man.
Table. Knights of the Round Table and Buzz Lightyear. But this is the little campfire that he made to go with the these action figures. Let's see if I've got
Does it light up?
watch this. Let's see if this one will work for this. If I'm plugged in. Let's see, where's it go? On here. It's well camouflaged in the rocks. The plug-in, the port. There it is. Oh,
Ah, that's nice.
now watch this. And the fan goes. It's supposed to. Let's see.
And it's got little strips of silk to make the flames.
Yep.
Oh, that's classic. Classic stagecraft. I love it.
Is my fan. There's the fan is going. It's they're a little settled down because they haven't been used much.
Wow.
But
Mhm.
oh, there's smoke coming out of
Well,
that.
it's a
So I
fire,
better
yeah.
be careful. I got to turn that off. But you see the little things. It's not blowing the fan
Yeah,
right now. Very strong.
very realistic.
Very nice.
And then
And
these
it
little
bursts into fire.
tendrils of flame. These little tendrils of
Very
flame blow
realistic.
up when the fan is
Look at
actually
that smoke
working.
and everything.
Yeah,
As his-
it smells.
as his eyebrows are singed. His
You know what
eyebrows
I
are
think? I think that power block is too strong for this. I saw a little wisp of actual real smoke come out of that.
I saw it too. I saw it too.
Hello. But anyway, those little wispy things blow. So you
So
can.
realistic. Little kids will burn their fingers on it. I love it. I love it.
That's right. That's right. Good morning, Maya Hansen. And the neat thing about these action figures, if you wanted to, you could set them all up around the campfire and you could go, well, Meriwether, where are we going to go today? well, Clark, we're going to go see the mountains. And
But
suck away-
think
suck it
about
away.
that actually. Little
She goes,
kids playing with historical figures instead of made up
that'd be
superheroes. That's awesome.
I know a better way.
When we
And,
were doing Hamlet set in space,
Sure, just interrupt my bit so you can say your
Yeah.
thing.
His
You
shtick
go right
was
ahead,
done.
Dave. You
Right,
can
he had
go
a
right
shtick.
through there.
we were looking at that and we were thinking action figures of Hamlet and all those characters. Wouldn't that be cool? Little kids sitting around
Alas,
playing with
Paul, I
Shakespearean
knew him
characters.
well.
You know,
Exposing themselves to
be
literature
or
and
not to be.
all
is
of
the
that.
question.
see, I wouldn't do that. I would say something like this. If I was a little kid with those dolls, I would say,
Here we go.
Take the Indian Trail to the west till you reach the Tree of the Dead. There you'll find the Headless Horseman.
There you'll find the headless horseman.
because I'm just like, I'm like just 45 minutes away from Sleepy Hollow here. So
That's like here's one of my best
I don't
impressions
think
of
I
all.
believe that. I
This
think
is one of my
actually
best impressions.
Chicago would be saying in Lakota.
Who am I? I'm the headless horseman.
Ichabod Kramer, man.
There you go.
I think actually, if you were playing with those, you'd have Chicago in Lakota saying all kinds of nasty things to Meriwether Lewis. And
Yeah. How do you say "how you doing" in Lakota?
Doshke.
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 What's up?
Doshke.
Uh-huh.
I like that. I have to use that. It's easier to say. It's quicker.
Hoka is a good day today. That's a saying I heard that the Dakota say it
It's
too.
also charge. Hoopka.
Okay,
hey.
yeah.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Also,
Yeah,
my best
yeah,
Lakota is kapla.
That's right. It's a good day to die. Kabla.
Mm.
Yeah.
But also, for small penis, you would say susu chikala.
Susu chikala. I don't like those words.
Yeah.
Speaking of Susan,
Susan had a small penis. I believe it.
she was at the party last night with her husband. You're right; they're still married. I thought they were divorced, but
Hey, Roger Rabbit, he's out there looking for those action figures. I can tell you exactly where to get them. You go to Manitou. I got to test it. ManitouFreeTraders.com. I believe that's the site.
And
Hang on.
Manitou is Ojibwa. Manitou
Oh, that's
is
Ojibwe.
spirit. Ojibwa, Anishinaabe. Or as
Yeah, I
we
know what
call
you
it,
mentioned. Now.
the Schnaab people.
There it is. Manitou Free Traders Toy Directory. Here it is. Oh, this is one I've asked John for. The same guy did these, and I don't have it. He's got Jacques the Voyageur, and he's got a big birch bark canoe, 1/6 scale real bark canoe that's 36 inches long, with Jacques the Voyageur and all his accoutrements, just like these guys. He's got that
Very
available. He charges right around $175 to $200 for that. The same for the real bark canoe. I asked him if he had an extra one of those. He goes, "Oh, I think I have
Birch
an
bark
extra one
canoe.
for you laying around
You know,
here somewhere."
Scotty, I would only get one of those if it had Jacques Cousteau as
Jacques
well.
Cousteau. And now,
At the helm.
now we are going to dive down deep to find the rare jellyfish.
Let's take a
Mandu.
quick shot.
Mandu, I have
Sure.
found them.
Sherry. Let's have a sherry.
Well, I got Manitou Free Traders, but it's on somebody else's site. I wonder if he took his site down. Oh, wait, here it is. ManitouFreeTraders.com. I must have misspelled it because nope, site can't be reached. He's doing about a lot of moving around. He's moving from the cities, his whole studio, which is a Native American museum. He's
Wow.
got up here, Ruben, that I think you would have loved to see. But now he's setting it all up where his big house is in Alexandria, Minnesota.
What I would, just to springboard off of that, Scotty and Dave and Matt, is if I was a multimillionaire, of course I'd have homes in different places in the world, but I would have a traveling museum, Native American museum of
wouldn't that be nice?
sacred clowns. Because every Native American has a sacred clown, just like in the Viking culture, the Loki is the sacred clown. He's tricked by his own tricks, a trickster. So, a coyote
he
or a
does
spider.
often fall prey to his own mischief.
Indeed. And so all these sacred clowns, heyokas in Lakota, but even among the Pueblo, they have all the striped black and white painting of their bodies and outfits. And I think it's great to show that. And then all the way to the modern Barnum and Bailey circus of the clown that we see in Stephen King's It, how it's become
Stephen King like horror.
morbid in many ways, or evil, or people are afraid of clowns. Many people.
Yeah, sometimes they do. Yeah.
Clowns are freaky. I don't like clowns. and I used to do
talking
clowning.
Batman, but
I used to do professional clowning, but I don't. They freak me out.
It's
Batman.
So there's a borderline, and that's what I'm saying is that a sacred clown museum, because I see them as sacred, and Native people do, not necessarily evil, and not necessarily good or funny, but somewhere in the middle where we walk.
Balance.
Yes.
By the way, I got to answer Roger Rabbit's question here. How many times have you done this, Scotty? I think he's referring to the show of action figures. I think many times, at least a half a dozen, but never for Kenny Ballos, for whom we were talking about. Now, I will say this.
Thank you, Elderberry, for your comment.
Let us break from whatever the actual conversation is about so I can share something else with you.
Good morning,
this
Kenny.
tub? Do you see this tub? What do you suppose is in here, kids? Hey, kids, what do you think is in Uncle Scotty's?
The action figures?
Let's see. Well, we got this.
Star Trek.
Got that. I don't think the battery's working. Hold on. Photon torpedoes. Let's see what else is in here. I just found this buried in the garage the other day. Dun 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 dun. There's the original Romulan vessel.
Yeah.
Oh, the batteries are dead on that one. What else do we have in here? What else do you think is in here, children? Why, we have
Klingon.
The new Romulan. Nope, that's a Romulan.
Oh,
that's
that's
the new Romulan vessel. Batteries are dead on that one too. These have been in this box for probably 15 years.
You should hang them up. You should make a mobile
Enterprise with no nacelles. Oh wait, they're here.
That's Voyager. That's
No,
the Voyager.
this is the Enterprise D or E. This came out after one of the movies.
Oh.
Here, these things came up. Hold on. You can talk amongst yourself while I repair my starship.
Did you break your little spaceships?
Break your little spaceships?
I think you should make a mobile, hang it from the ceiling. Of all
Well,
the
these used to be. I used to have Sam had these in his room, and would hang them all up. And wait, there's the other nacelle. I saw the tip of it. There it is.
Isn't that the line from the one with the Borg
That
in
was
Back in Time?
Winnie, whatever her name, the black actress.
Yeah.
You broke your little spaceships.
When he freaks out and smashes the glass and destroys the models.
That's the new Enterprise.
Alfred Woodard.
Batteries, I'm sure.
Alfred Woodard.
Alfred Woodward. Yeah.
I met her at the Dapple in North Dakota. She came out with Dave Matthews. Anyway,
the new Klingon.
Klingon.
Kapla. Tok, douche, but show. And we got a little stand for our Enterprise. Wait. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Hold on. Hang on. Oh, wait. You know what that's from? Dave, you know what that's from?
I can't even see what that is. Is that a bagpipe?
That's a little brush from a pick and whisk that would hang on your uniform.
Oh.
Wait a second. What it's doing in my Star Trek box, I have no idea.
For cleaning your musket.
Here. We have
Captain James T. Kirk.
We have Captain Kirk. This is you, Kenny Ballos. I had a fear to show you my dolls. You take out your dolls now. Your dolls just have to be inflated first, so you can't show yours as quickly as I can show mine.
Here's a pop quiz. Where was James Tiberius Kirk from?
Iowa.
Iowa. He lives in Montreal, Canada, I think. That's where he lives now.
An action figure you don't see very much. Who is that?
Chekhov.
Chekhov. Let's see. Who else do we have in here?
But Spot be next.
Geordie
LaForge.
That's the latest Star Trek one.
Now, these are the guys that all used to sit on top of my big, long bookshelf. I had them all up about almost 8 feet tall, and they were all lined up across the top.
So they're out of camera shot.
This one's very easy. Engage.
Jean-Luc Picard.
Jean-Luc Picard.
How nerdy are we?
I have no idea.
We know all this.
I know. We all know all this. I don't know why.
My dad linked to the lot.
Who this is right away.
We didn't have girlfriends right away. That's
Look
why.
at how
For
weird
yourself.
her costume wore out, being stored.
6 of 9.
Why did that do that right there on the boobs? That's very interesting. But there's 7 of 9, and her costume is actually
7 of
shredded.
9. Because
I don't know. Maybe Sam did
Somebody's
that.
been
when he
using
was
their
in
thumb to
puberty.
rub them, I
I
bet.
don't know.
someone was sucking on them. I don't know.
Somebody did something. And of course, we have the older Captain Kirk.
Admiral.
Yeah.
Admiral.
That's not an admiral's
Admiral.
uniform. That's a captain's uniform.
Oh,
Let's see. Then, of course, we have From Where No Man Has Gone Before, Captain Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
You can see he doesn't have the
I
black
knew that
collar.
one.
He's not wearing eyeshadow.
Then we have a shoehorn. What else?
Star Trek style.
Oh, I found it. I have Star Trek Christmas ornaments, and Kirk is sitting in his chair, but he was missing his arm.
Oh dear.
Found it. I can now put his arm back on. Duh! It was in my Star Trek box. Let's see what else we have.
with your musket brush.
Now, this one is,
Ladies and gentlemen,
one of
I
my
apologize for this.
one of my children. Yeah. If you're a member of this channel and you pay for a membership, this is what you get. But there's one of the better Jean-Luc Picard action figures that was done.
Yeah.
Minus
This
a
is the
limb.
little plastic ones, and he lost an arm somewhere along the way.
Oh boy.
Oh,
The
this
board
one
took it.
here's one for you. Who can name this guy?
Chakotay.
Chakotay.
Pike. Oh, okay. Captain Pike, I was going to say. But
That was Chakotay. I don't have a Captain Pike. Here's my namesake.
Which I'm sure we're all mispronouncing. Is that
That's,
Gary?
Montgomery Scott.
Oh, Montgomery Scott.
But from the but he's got
Oi.
the old uniform on, so that had
Yeah.
to be from
The Scottish
somewhere
accent,
no
yeah.
man has gone before.
Oi.
And
I
James
got them, but
Doohan
I'm
had
giving
always
her all
said-
she's got.
James Doohan had always said that he wished that the pants needed a stripe down the side. Now, they did that in the uniform with the red uniforms, but they didn't have them in the original series. So here you've got
The police.
the original episode where he appeared with the no black collar, Where No Man Has Gone Before. I think it was after Where No Man Has Gone Before, but he's got the red stripe.
Yeah, the police
I've
here
only
in the
got
Caribbean,
one
they
more
have a
action figure
black
in
pants
here.
and red stripes too.
You
Only
know,
one more action figure. The Irish contingent.
oh yeah,
Miles O'Brien, chief engineer
chief engineer.
from the Next Generation. And then I just got a bunch of stands that they stand on.
Who said,
know-
I want a uniform I can roll my sleeves up because my character works for a living.
That's right.
And they gave him a unit. They designed the uniform so he could roll the sleeves
what
up.
is it?
My uniform would have a ribbon jock strap on the outside.
There it is.
Semi-automatic.
I think this is for a G.I. Joe. Ken Rose.
I mean, for a good action movie, boy.
So there you go. I had to show you that. Just
Good
I,
God.
I said
right
a
here by
ribbon
my
jock
desk.
strap on the outside.
Yes.
Only one I didn't see was Spock. Yeah, he didn't want to see.
Yeah. I have Spock. He's
Illogical.
You look up there.
Illogical.
That's Spock is
Fascinating.
right. Watch my fingertip. Let's see if I can get to it. Right there.
Behind the live
Ah.
mo-
Here, look at this. I got these two up here, and this one is this one's a little different kind of action figure. It's more. I spent a lot of money on this guy years
It's
ago,
a Pez.
but I got that one,
Mhm.
and so he's got his phaser's supposed to be more up, but you can
behind
put it
the
up.
time stream.
So
Click,
there you
click.
go.
Click, click.
That's That's when they started scanning the actors or scanning old photos to get these really accurate features. for their
Yeah.
face. So we got that Kirk, and then here is my one Spock that I have.
Yeah,
There's
Leonard
Spock.
Nimoy, Spock. Yeah.
You know,
And he's
and
got his
that's one of,
tricorder and
one of the coolest pictures I ever saw was Leonard Nimoy, Ian McKellen, Gandalf, and Patrick
Yes.
Stewart. They're all
Yeah.
sitting together.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa. Can you
Singing
Yeah, I
imagine?
remember
Double
seeing that
Baggins?
program.
And you wonder if big actors like that, if they get geeked out by me. I just met Ian McClellan, Gandalf. I met him. Well, you're
Mhm.
Captain Picard. You're the the captain of the Enterprise.
I've got
I
one
got
better
you
than
again.
that. I've got one better than that, Scotty, where my agent met Patrick Stewart at the pisser. He was
Nice.
taking a piss, and he looked over.
Oh.
And it was Patrick Stewart.
Hello.
He tried to shake his hand, but he didn't wash his hand.
Hi.
He was-
Mr. Stewart. I love you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
So,
Agents don't like to
Yeah.
shake hands
we
anyways.
got all kinds of other stuff up on that shelf, by the way. There's a few more Star Trek artifact. You can see an Enterprise up there.
You know, every
There.
time we all
Phaser,
get together, guys,
communicator.
somehow turns from Native American history to
Science
Renaissance and then Star Trek. It's all Star Trek in the end.
The natural
Star Trek
progression
or
of
sex.
things.
It's one of the two, you know.
Evolution. It's the evolution.
Yes.
Wow.
We're evolving. We want to.
Action
you know?
figure. That's right, Elderberry. Action figures. Those aren't dolls, they're action figures.
And you know what you know what MMA stands for? You know, the fighting
Mixed martial arts.
man on man action.
Oh, mano
Okay.
a mano. Yeah.
I know I had to take it somewhere. But
But think about it. Reenactment
You
is
take it,
really
not me.
just grown-ups playing action figures.
amen.
Yeah.
That's true. And
You know,
we're so
the
so
people who
keen.
buy these things, they're all adults. It's like, oh, Dad, you got me a Spock action. No, I didn't. Don't touch that.
Don't
Do you
touch
know
that. Don't
how
take that
many
out of the box.
times?
Don't take it out of the box.
Do you know
That was
how
a
many
cartoon that was
times
very. It was a cartoon that was very.
Sam would come up to me and say, Dad, can I open this up? I'm like, don't you dare open. Sam lived through his whole childhood with these action figures up on the top of a shelf, wishing he could
Just
open them up
begging
and
to play with them. I want to play with those.
Yeah,
But
you
he's
ask
got a
Sam.
musket.
I wish Sam was out there
He's got a
listening
sword.
right now so you could come in and talk about it.
Did you dust it off regularly? You know,
Oh,
the
yeah.
dust?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, yes. Wait.
Yeah, I keep them up.
Hey,
Yeah.
do you guys remember the first Star Wars little action figures that
Yes,
came out?
the
I
Kenner ones.
forgot who made those.
Darth
Mattel,
Vader and those types of things like that.
Which
Kenner.
ones?
like Luke Skywalker, from the very first.
Kenners. They were Kenners
When you
because
look at the
Mattel
original
turned it down.
toys, you look at the original toys and how cheesy and crappy they were, down to where you're getting to where is he? He's in my pile of action figures here. The stuff like where was the little Picard? Where did he go? Yeah, come here, Jean-Luc. There he is. I would just talk nice to them. Toys, the movie Toys, the animated films. You
Yeah.
ever do that? You
Toy
go,
Story.
I'm sorry I had to stack you with the other toys. Just in case, just in case.
You know, I beg to differ,
you look at
Scotty,
that-
because they don't
Face.
make toys
It's
like
an
they
arm.
used to.
Yeah.
If you
they don't.
If you look at Ertl, ERTL, or
Yeah.
Tonka toy trucks, they last. They were made
Yeah.
of
That's
metal.
You can
forever.
hammer those toys down.
Oh yeah, that's a totally different kind of toy there.
Mhm.
Or
And
the
you
radio
could sit,
flyer.
the Tonka dump truck, you could sit on it and ride it down the driveway.
It's like look at the
What?
face on
A
that.
strong toy, boy.
And you tell me that the features. I'm sorry, I can't hold them still. The
Yeah.
features on that are so good.
He's very good.
So
He's looking at
Look
me.
at that pimple on his cheek. That's amazing.
it actually,
You know, and with the Tonka toy truck, that's a Lakota word. Tonka.
Tonka,
means
the buffalo.
big, like mini Tonka. Big lake.
Yeah.
Big.
Yep.
Okay.
Tonka.
Oh, I thought it was a buffalo.
Tonka.
And
What
Tatanka.
Tatanka.
Tatanka is His Majesty.
Tatanka.
Who am I?
Majesty.
Uh-huh.
I'm Ruben.
But
Sam here.
you know, I remember as a kid seeing the elephant step on the Tonka truck to show
Yes.
how
Uh-huh.
strong it was. You know, like,
One of my favorite pictures, you know how they often would show like Ford or Chevy, the parking lot with just thousands of
Oh,
cars.
yeah.
out there. And Tonka did one, which hundreds and hundreds of trucks lined up in their parking lot and did a big photograph just to show that they cranked out more cars than Ford did or something. It was funny as hell.
Good on
Totally
them.
funny.
Good on them.
My
That's
generation I saw there was a Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon. There were action figures that were very popular at one time. I mean, you had plenty of those. I don't know if you guys know those, but they were around a lot.
Yep.
There. We'll see if Sam gets the message. I said, Sam, if you're around, I need you. I need you to come on the show right now. And I sent him the link. We'll see if he gets that or not. He might be working today, but I don't know.
Oh my God. So we went through Star Trek. Now we're on Tonka trucks and
toys.
Just stemming back to our childhood, you know, whether it's Pokemon or have you not.
Right. Well, I used to talk about my G.I. Joes. I had all the G.I. Joe stuff, and this Mercury, not even Apollo yet, the Mercury space capsules.
All my stuff like that went to my nephew.
All of it. Yep.
Wow, you were a rich kid. You were a rich kid because all I had were a piece of wood. I could, a piece of block of wood, and then I would put clothespins on the end, and that'd be my X-wing fighter.
Yes.
I had many pieces of lath that were turned into swords of various types. I would find a piece of lath and I would end up in the garage with my dad's sander and I would turn it into a Roman short sword or a rapier or a broadsword or whatever.
Nice. Yep.
Roman gladius. Yeah.
Yep. Always had all these things with me when I was growing up.
It was
part of why I went into property making.
There you go. It was a big deal for us on the reservation as Indian boys to have a jackknife. That you could make slingshots, you could make bows and arrows.
David.
When I was a kid, that was as a Boy Scout or a Cub Scout, once I got to a certain age and was a Cub Scout, I could carry my pocket knife in my pocket. It was just expected. It was a tool that all the Cub Scouts had. Now they don't even let them have them.
Don't have that anymore.
They showed something on TV recently last night, just an old rerun of Mike and Molly or something like that, where they showed this, here's something, that's all you're going to need. And the kid looked at it like, what is this? And it was a Swiss Army knife. It had the corkscrew, it had the blade, it had the scissors, it had the toothpick, it had the tweezers.
It had several things combined. Yeah.
Now you show
Elderberry asked about the Son of a Patriot coffee mug. He said he broke his. I just put the link in the chat room. There you go, Elderberry. That's a long link. You'd think they'd have ways to share these without copying a link that's, the length of War and Peace. So I don't see it on here. So
I don't
it
either.
says share. Oh, I can share it to Facebook and stuff like that, but you can't just copy the link. So which is too bad. All right. But there it is.
I saw this post where this black family pulled into to get gas, but they also the father had 3 black sons, triplets, sitting in their chairs in the back seat,
right?
Their car chairs, and he pulled up next to a phone booth, and he put the windows down. He said, "Boys, what is that? Can you tell me what that is?" And they were looking at each other like, "It's where you get gas, Dad. It's where you get gas."
Yeah.
They didn't know what a phone booth was.
No clue.
No clue.
I remember the innovation when they came up with the payphones that you could drive your car up to and reach out your window.
Yeah.
That was the innovation in payphones right there.
I watch a brand new movie
in my car talking on the phone.
I watch a brand new movie. I don't know if you guys ever saw it, called Alice.
I can take a commercial break as KB.
Yeah, I watched a brand new movie called Alice. That had this girl that she was raised like in a slave-like plantation, like in the 1800s, but she actually was able to get off it, and she realized that she actually living in 1973, where they had like cars
time
and
travel thing,
telephones.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, she couldn't understand anything what was going on. She didn't even know that slavery was abolished. So yeah, I said it may have some grain of truth to it. Yeah.
You know, even kids today, you show them what a record player is, no, or even a cassette tape.
Yeah.
What is
They
this?
don't
What
know.
is- Oh man.
Yeah, because we're all with our technological ages now. People know a lot of things now about iPhones and smartphones and gadgets like that now. So,
and that's where
Even the concept of burning a CD, they don't understand that.
I'm glad I lived in the time where we chopped wood and we had a wood stove to cook and heat. You know, we didn't have indoor plumbing. We had outhouses. So I'm glad I saw that to where I'm currently at, talking to you on the computer now, you know.
Yeah. Technology is advanced a lot farther.
And it's amazing because my grandfather, my mother's father, said to me when I was a boy, he said, "You know, son, I've seen where I grew up on a dirt floor in a cabin to now where I've seen a man walk on the moon."
Yeah. My grandfather was the same way. He was born in 1900 or 1901.
Yeah. He said, imagine what you'll see. Imagine what you're going to see. And I'm just like, he's right, you know.
I had those conversations with my grandfather all the time. And the fact that he'd say, my mother and father lived through the Civil War.
Wow.
Yeah.
Slavery was still going on and all that confusion.
Yeah.
It's amazing. One of my characters as a reenactor is Eli S. Parker. And Eli S. Parker, he was a Native American general for Ulysses S. Grant during the Civil War. I didn't know Native Americans were involved, but he was Tonawanda, which is by Buffalo, New York, Seneca people.
Seneca
and
Indian.
He couldn't, they wouldn't let him in right away. But he knew Ulysses S. Grant because he went to school with him and he hired him. Grant hired Parker. And Eli S. Parker's known predominantly for writing the terms of surrender for Robert E. Lee. And there's a great oil picture of 5 Union generals. And Robert E. Lee is sitting down signing this means of treaty. And Parker's one of them sitting there, as well as George Armstrong Custer.
Yeah, I heard it. He was he fought in the Union side. I heard that.
Yeah. But I didn't know, so I portrayed this at a Chautauqua in Bismarck, North Dakota. I was a general for the Union soldiers, Eli S. Parker, and then a guy from Flint, Michigan, of all places, was General George Armstrong Custer. And then there was a Southern Native American general who was Cherokee. His name was William Stan Waddy, and he was in a gray coat. So we get up every morning and do our performances one by one, and we'd see each other and say, "Good morning, General. Good morning, General. Good morning, General." It was kind of cool. It was just different to portray that. So I had to learn a little bit of Seneca Indian to start my program and to speak with them. But I never knew that Native Americans were involved in the Civil War.
Because I bought a book yesterday. Here talking about Destiny made by them brothers, and it has characters like Custer and a few others as well together combined. So it probably may talk about some of that as well too. Native Americans being involved in the Treaty of Appomattox, and so it may have some of that in its content for sure.
That's right. So I'm still learning. Student of history.
There's still more to know.
You're never going to know all of it. I think hereafter you're going to say, "Oh, why didn't I think of that at the time? It was so close. I was so close to opening that door, but I never did because I thought I didn't count, or I'm not ready, or something." But I think I like to believe in the afterworld, our afterlife. Everything is going to become known to us.
I recently lost my father. You see, and yesterday I went and go and pay him a visit and had a little Hanukkah service because we attended Hanukkah a few times here in Barbados at the synagogue. So we did that tonight. made a comment when it was finished visiting him. I think it was last month. I last visited him. I made a comment that there's a Lakota statement. I hear you say that there's never a saying goodbye, never a saying that is a goodbye to a person when you. Yeah. See.
Doksha Ke. Until next time.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's interesting. Talking morbidly. Yep. Talking morbidly about death. If you look in here in this country, and I don't know where anywhere else in the world, the way you bury your dead kind of deems how the people treat you. You look after your graveyards. The people are a good community because they take care of their dead. Native Americans were the only people that I know that buried their dead above ground on scaffolds.
Yeah,
laid the bodies until it time to die. It fell after the birds and the nature had its way, being organic. You give back what you took, and then your body goes to. And here in the East Coast, they buried their dead in the trees. That scene in Last of the Mohicans, where the French and the Indians are coming in to get them, and she asks, "Why didn't they come in?" He looks and says, "Burial ground. They're not going to come in because it's sacred. It's special."
Yes. Treat it with reverence. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I find it interesting.
well, and at the same time, you would think they'd say to themselves, they're probably not going to be real happy that we're here. It's like, hello, sacred.
Hey, Scotty, you're muted, Scotty.
Oh, I muted my mic when I left. How about that?
Well, there you go.
You didn't hear the conversation that took place in the doorway over here.
No.
Total change of topic, but husbands and wives, male and female language, the way we communicate with each other. Flynn is getting ready to go to a birthday party. Rowan just got back from an overnight birthday party at a friend of hers. So Rainey made this statement, and it's an empirical statement. She says, well, thank goodness I'm the one who takes care of all the children's parties and stuff. I made the tumbler for a gift, and I made the card for Flynn and so on. And she just finished that over there. And I said, well, I did all the artwork for the tumbler. Yes, but did you know when the party was? I said, I knew it was yesterday. Well, did you know that Rowan had to be picked up today? I said, yeah, I did. And she said, then what time was it? And I said, I don't know. She was going to text me when she was ready to come home. It's a block away. So I got to go pick her up. And then do you know what time Flynn's party is? Said,
when did Rowan break both her legs?
Yeah, exactly. And I was going to get her a little platform with the little things so she could roller herself along. Reminds me of the Eddie Murphy line from Trading Places.
Dad,
when you first see Eddie Murphy in Trading Places in the 1980s movie, and he's playing a blind guy, and he's pretending he has no legs, and he's rolling around on a platform using
he does it well
to move himself, and he says something to a good-looking woman walking by, goes, come on, he says, what, come on, once you've had it from a man with no legs, there ain't no going back. So anyway,
that's where the cops prove that he can see. He's like, I can see. It's a miracle. They pick him up and his legs dropped out. He's like, it's a miracle. I'm here.
But the husband and wife language is always, well, I know these things and you don't. And it's like, well, and I just thanked her for being such a good manager of our household.
No, she just had a decent job that paid the fucking bills.
There, now if I just had a decent job that paid the fucking bill, she has to come in and emasculate me now, just for.
I'm only irritated because I can hear you talking down here.
Ain't got no crops if you don't plant the seed.
I run this house. No, because you were like, I don't even remember what you said.
I said there's a difference between male and female.
And then you're like, I made a tumbler. That's great. Can you tell me what activities this month our children have, when they are, what times they are?
Well, no. Rowan has.
She does that.
Yeah, Dave, you probably know more of Rowan's schedule than Scotty does. I know more of Scotty's schedule than Scotty.
She told me yesterday she needed to be picked up today. I said, just text me when you're ready. But I got a show in the morning. So
Well, it doesn't matter if you have
and
a
it's
show
not
or
a point
but
of
it's one those
contention.
things where it doesn't matter if you have a show or not. When a kid needs to get picked up, you have to go get a kid.
That's right.
She's a block away. Her legs aren't broken. When we were kids, our parents would say, "Walk home."
Yeah, we just had somebody at the holiday station trying to pick up kids. She's not walking home for a while.
Okay.
Well, I will say this on behalf of men, Rainey. Women are we're totally. That's why we're attracted to each other. We're totally different animals.
Yeah.
In the sense of women are day to day, on the month, on the minute, on the second, on the time, boom, boom, boom. We can't do that. But we have the foresight as men. We see beyond the day to day stuff. I mean, if I was single, if Scotty or Dave and Matt was single, we'd be eating bologna sandwiches all the time.
That's right.
Or grilled cheese.
And the project work I got in
is we'd be
and the
starving. Ain't
project
nobody to
work
make
I
us a
got in
sandwich.
would be enough to cover my single man bills.
Yeah, your bologna
So,
sandwiches. And
Yeah. And so as it is right now, I think what Rainey,
Rapid Dog says walk away. Yeah, Scotty, walk away.
I think he's talking to you, woman.
Shut up.
But let me interpret what I heard in male language from my wife, who said, "Yeah, if Scotty would just get a job to pay the bills." I think what she really meant to say was, Scotty works his ass off all the time. I wish he had some bigger clients that would give him some more of the bigger projects he used to get in, because we're broke right now.
Yeah, you're gonna
Being
have to go.
interpreted
That's
as.
There
So-
is no winning this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get a job at Quick Trip where I can work 40 hours of my week for what, about $800 a month, something like that.
Quick Trip is $15.50 an hour starting, and if you work the night shift, it's $18.50.
There it is. I'll go work the night shift at Quick Trip. There for $18.50 an hour.
With your insomnia.
That's Rainey's way of saying you ain't going to be crawling into bed anytime soon. You might as well be out working.
Yeah, that's right. So it's funny. I still think it's funny. And Dave, you're in the same boat I'm in. We have been struggling for 30 and 40 years with our professions. And we've come to this place where I'm 62. Dave, you're what, 55? Somewhere in that range? 59. So we've come basically to the same age where we're like, why am I struggling like I was 40 years ago when I first started?
Not to be like, you're from the generation too that had like savings and retirement. Where the hell is all that?
Where's all the savings and retirement?
I don't know. I never put anything away. Because when I was younger and cash was pouring in on top of me and there was a point where it was, I thought, well, this is how it's going to be. Why should I save it?
Why should I save it? I'll always have this. You know, I had my period of time too when I was in advertising where I made pretty good money. And, you know, should have saved
There's
it.
a photograph out there of me sitting at a table full of millionaires lighting Cuban cigars with $100 bills.
Context is there.
You know, and it's interesting you guys are saying that, because I'm 51, and even at my age, I think of when I was 31, I was still doing fast, hard, quick. Now I'm a little bit wiser in the sense of it's not how much energy I spend, it's how I spend my energy now. So
Right.
When I was young and dumb and full of cum. Now I'm old and smart and full of fart. So that's who we're at.
That's it. Yeah, he's full of fart. I'm in the kitchen last night. I'm in the kitchen on a chair.
I couldn't help it.
Cleaning
in my
the
defense, I
cupboards,
couldn't help
and he
it.
comes and stands by me and rips one, and then grabs his food and walks away. I'm like, you are a jerk.
You didn't
she
wave
said,
it?
will you reach over there and grab those cans of pumpkin? Because she's up on a chair stacking stuff in the upper cabinet. Hey, will you grab those cans of pumpkin? And I said, sure. And I reached over, and like an old man does, I went, oh, sorry. I said, excuse me.
You need to exercise those muscles. Jeez.
Oh, yeah. That's what I think of. I get up in the morning, I go, I got to exercise my giggling muscles so I don't fart so much.
You should get something out and try pegging, and maybe that would help exercise those muscles.
If you don't exercise, eventually you're just going to be shitting your pants.
I won't say it.
Diaper.
Yeah. And
this is why you have children. See, pets, you can clean up after them all you want, but they will never change your diaper, but your kids will.
Yep. Now, and Rainey, I've got a great Kegel exercise. I told her, you keep bending me over your lap, and I'll get those muscles worked out.
No, because
So-
I don't need to smell
No.
shit every
No,
time.
because I don't need to.
go.
I need to show that I am now independent woman, and I must show that I am against my man. And it's like, no, you love
No.
me.
I know you're gonna bend over and fart. I don't need you bending over me and farting.
I won't bend over and fart. I never,
It's not even showing
in my own
independence.
defense, I
Rainy,
never
I don't want to
do
smell
it.
your
Pull
butt.
I
this.
never do it on purpose.
Pull this.
You
It's
know,
always accidental.
as a Rainy as a guy, we know we're doing good. I mean, we never hear a woman fart, basically.
Oh yeah, we do.
Or if she does, it doesn't smell. So
oh
she
yeah,
said.
they do.
But
I have to
What have you been doing? Eating roses?
and then I
So-
save it up.
so
Keep it in there
when
until
you
I'm
make-
writing by Scotty.
I will tell one story on Rainy. When she lets one rip, she'll go, "Oh, you can tell I had gluten last night." And so-
well, I was gonna
Oh, yeah.
say saying that to say this. In making love to your woman, you make her break wind. You're doing a good job. You hit the button
yeah,
somehow,
because they
somewhere.
forget what they're doing, and they're like, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so it's so unwomanly. You know, like the guys are like,
We don't
I'm
care.
doing a good job. I'm doing a
I
good
was in-
job.
I
Doggy
was in
style.
Walmart the other day with Flynn and his friend Damon, and I
Oh, boy.
let one
Teenage
rip.
boys.
I let one rip in the store, and I'm like, do you smell the fire? Does it smell like fire in here? And Damon's over going, I think I smell it. I'm like, are you sure you smell fire? He's like, oh my God, what does that smell? I just about pissed myself laughing. He's like, was that you? I'm like, yep, it was.
So
You know,
bad.
I will
My-
tell you, if I had a dime for every time
Were
my
you ready?
lovely wife here said
You got
something
your towel,
like,
your swimsuit?
"I got to run out.
your
Don't talk to me.
present.
I'm gonna piss my pants if I don't get into the bathroom." And I'm like, if I had a dime for every time she's told me that, I'd be like, we'd be retired on a white sand beach somewhere.
Well, I always wait until
But-
I'm always busy. I'm going. Even now, I gotta go because Flynn's got a birthday party. He was supposed to be at 9 minutes ago, and it's 20 minutes away.
Do you know what time he's supposed to be at the party?
He didn't wake up and get ready to go,
I know.
and
I
I'm
know.
not gonna stand there.
I'm
Bye.
getting up. I'm getting up.
But I still get a kiss.
Yeah.
Oh no, Flynn doesn't go, "I'm not getting up." He goes,
Rainy has the humor of a 12-year-old boy and always has.
"So, yeah." He does not like mornings. Flynn and mornings do not get along.
my mom and her well, when I was a high schooler, she had no qualms anymore. She ripped one, and she would just kitchen table pick her leg up and then she
Rapid
go,
Dog, what was
"Oh."
$59.99? By
And
the
she
way,
she would sigh from a relief of it, like, oh. And my dad, it didn't phase him anymore. He just was used to.
yeah, you're just like, hey, comes with the territory. So
well, you think about it, they push out our kids, so
Yeah,
there it is.
there you go.
you got to give them leeway, you know.
That's right. That's right. So anyway,
If you don't like playing to a stadium, then don't give me so many.
that's right.
That's it.
There
That's
you go.
it.
Yeah, I don't know how we had 3 kids. I mean, it's like, wow, how'd that happen? No, Barney, we aren't going bowling.
Fred Flintstone.
It's 12 or it's 11.
It certainly is. It's 11:11.
It's
Matter of fact,
1
in
1
30
here.
sec- 37
11
seconds.
minutes after 1.
There you go. So I usually look at the clock around 11 o'clock and say it's time to wrap this baby up. And
Well,
so
In
once
closing,
again,
I'll say what Wendy Robertson and Mark would say: "You're all Barney trouble," meaning you're Barney rubble. You're full of
Barney
trouble.
Rubble. There it is. There it is. That's right. And I hope she's having, if they're still listening by any rare chance while they're out gallivanting about the countryside, a good day to them. Have a fun day. And I'm going to let you guys go one by one. See you,
Okay,
Matthew.
bye.
Thanks for
Bye.
hanging out. And Ruben, good to see you, Misu. And we will
Good
talk
seeing you
soon.
too.
And Uncle Dave, same to you, brother. Get thee hence.
I shall.
All right. Talk to you soon. Oops. I just brought Ruben back in. There, now he's gone. All right, everybody. What did Ken Ballos say? From India to toys to farms. What's next? Yeah, our topics, you mean? Yeah. Indians to toys to farms to farting to, yeah, you name it. Farts. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it goes all over the place. So anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate it. It's always fun to let you in on the private things about my life and my household. And if you think my lovely wife is just an adornment, a thing I put on the shelf as my trophy wife, you'd be wrong. She gives me hell every day. I get yelled at every day. Doesn't matter what it's for, but it happens. But she still loves me. How about that? If she didn't love me, the day she stops yelling at me is the day I realize my wife doesn't love me anymore, because she won't care. So anyway, and I do, Elderberry, I do pucker up, but I know your context was different. So everybody, thank you for being here. Remember to join us Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the Intrepid radio program. It's right here on this channel, and also over on subspace.radio. And join us on Tuesdays. Wendy Robertson and I have Robertson, if you say it fast. And that'll be Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And so thank you all for being here. You all have a good rest of your Sunday. It's still Sunday morning here. It's afternoon for some of you already, or noon. And it's way early morning out on the left coast. So thank you for being here. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. And live long and prosper.